You have the floor.
Thank you, Miss White. You've all met Georgie. I don't have to tell you what kind of person he was. He was a total scoundrel, lacking in any sort of moral fiber. I hired him as a favor to his family, you see. A promise kept to a dying mother.
Oh,
Are you gonna get to your point or what?
Georgie was working for me, yes. But he was not acting on my behalf when he killed those women. It was his business. And for whatever reason, I'm sure only he could understand, he murdered 2 of his most faithful employees. I had nothing to do with it.
Tell
This
the
is such
fucking
bullshit.
truth for
He's
once.
always been a bit of a powder keg.
If you were so offended by it, why'd you cover it up then? If it had nothing to do with you and your shit, then why'd you try to protect him for so
What
long?
cover up? I never made any attempt to hide Georgie's criminal activity from you. I learned of it myself
For
only
fuck's
recently.
sake. Any of you actually believe this bullshit?
Holly, please.
Tell them, Bigby. When you finally showed up at my door last night, wasn't I more than helpful? I answered your questions. I was willing to cooperate.
What's he talking about?
Yeah, and your goons attacked me. Did you forget that part?
They get a bit carried away sometimes, it's true. Loyal to the end. They do it because they want to protect me, as I protected them. You understand wanting to protect what you care about, don't you? You'd do anything. You
Well,
might even give up an innocent man, just to save someone.
I really hope you're going somewhere with this.
I see, you want to cut right to the point. I can appreciate that. Let me explain this to you.
He
My
is another guy, I
employees are
think.
just that, hired help. I see some of them are here among you. They are not my slaves. They are all free to make their own decisions, as Georgie was.
You're not serious. I know what you do to people. I've seen it firsthand. What you did to Faith. The way you manipulated her. Do you
Yeah.
really think any of those girls were free? Do you really think Faith
I'm
wanted
sorry,
to...
Lawrence. I'm sorry that your wife came to me for help, and I'm sorry that I decided against my best judgment to give her a distasteful job.
Right, and you kept them in debt so they couldn't leave.
true.
Yeah. That's what you did to us. How you kept us all
You
in
forget
line.
it was not me who put you in that position. You all act like I'm some kind of tyrant.
You're all leading the
When your
business.
government abandoned you, left you poor and helpless, sniveling on street corners, I was there to look out for you.
Yes, but
Wasn't I?
Crane was the one who let this town go to the fucking dogs. The guy who was in your pocket, remember?
Really?
Oh,
What
oh.
about Auntie Greenleaf? Her story is not uncommon. She left everything she had back in the homelands. Everything that mattered, anyway. With nowhere else to turn, she came to me for help. And what did I do for you?
You got my tree back.
I got her tree back.
You could-
And in turn, we used her magic to help poor Faples get glamours. Because I helped her, she was able to make a living, provide for herself.
Illegally?
And what did they do?
They burned my tree to ashes.
What?
you burned it down?
You see?
There's more to this than they're saying, okay? It was necessary to keep this town safe.
True.
Greenleaf was using her magic to help Crane and the Crooked Man.
What choice did I have?
It wasn't her fault.
You can lie to yourself, but you can't lie to me. You hated Crane, and you hated him for wanting to fuck you, and you being
Whoa.
too soft to notice what he'd do to get it. It had nothing to do with a crooked man.
Holy shit, woman. That's harsh.
We've made some mistakes. I've made some mistakes. But believe me, I truly want what's best for this town.
Yeah, me too.
And that may not always be clear right away. But I want you all to know that I care deeply about all of you. And so does the sheriff.
Yeah, right.
I can't promise you perfection. No one can. But I can promise to always have your best interests at heart.
Maybe you haven't noticed, but we've been doing all this to protect you. We're trying to stop people like him.
The Crooked Man's been exploiting you.
Yeah.
Exploiting your hope for a better life. You would go to him for help, and he would take that weakness and add it to his strength.
He took Faith and Lily from us. And while we can never get them back, we can certainly punish who's responsible.
Yeah. Oh god.
They're right.
Oh yes, thank you, Beast.
You're all still afraid of him, even now. But you needn't be. His contamination of this town is over. And those girls will have their justice.
Oh, Greenleaf. Hi, girl. Son, what you gonna do now? Oh, slow clap.
Very good, very good. The sentiment is surely appreciated, Miss White. But it doesn't disguise the fact that these accusations are completely unfounded. The sheriff simply doesn't have a particle of evidence linking me to the
Georgie
murders.
was working for you. Bigby got a confession
A confession that nobody heard. Now, I'm no barrister, but I think such a statement would carry more weight if Bigby weren't the only one to whom Georgie spoke. Especially given Bigby's history.
Well, I'm
What
sorry.
are you talking about?
Snow?
And what about your history? All you've done to this fucking town?
What do you mean there's no evidence?
Maybe he's... I mean, this doesn't
Shut
feel
up,
right,
Beauty.
how we're doing this. I just
Of
mean...
course it's right. This man tormented all of you for profit. Georgie
Let me
killed
just
them.
make sure I understand you. You're trying to say that I'm responsible for what Georgie did because he was working for me at the time, yes?
Yes. Of course. Yes, you're responsible.
Well, by that logic, Miss White should be on trial for Tweedledum's murder, since you know Bigby works for her.
That's...
He killed a man.
That don't make him a murderer. What happened with Tweedledum wasn't Snow's fault.
Nope.
If y'all want to blame someone, blame me. She had nothing to do with it.
Bigby and I have already discussed his behavior that night. We're handling it
Where have
internally.
I heard that before? How about the way he treated poor Tweedledee when he was in your custody? He was beaten to mashed apples while under your watch.
Under my watch.
Maybe he's right.
Did you think we'd all just let that go?
Snow had nothing to do with it. We all thought she was dead.
Besides, Crane was still deputy mayor when that happened.
Indeed.
Right before you decided to kidnap him.
It was for his own protection.
No.
Oh, you're right, dear. Crane was in charge. Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference.
That's enough.
So, you won't answer for your employees' behavior, but I must perish for
This
mine.
is completely different.
I
We all...
did not order those two girls dead. It simply never happened. Georgie killed Faith and Lily. End of story. They want to scapegoat me for their own tangled ends, but they refuse to answer for their own
This
crimes.
isn't right.
Oh, please.
This isn't the point.
We'll deal with them after we deal with you.
Listen, I
The
know...
laws apply when we need them.
Everyone just shut the fuck up.
I mean, a certain level of privilege should be afforded to...
To who?
This is how it's always
Yes. See, this is exactly to what I'm speaking. We lashed our ropes to this diseased world, and ever since, which one of us has been there for you? Who filled your lives with the promise of more? Who was there while they idly played in their towers, judging you, treating you as mindless children, too stupid to command your own destiny? Without me, who will pay your rent when you're on the verge of eviction?
Just
Who will dare
sell the
challenge
chandelier.
their brutality when it leaks to our dear citizens? Who will protect you from the big bad wolf?
I know what he's
Who will
protection
be
from.
the-
Bigby! Miss White!
Excuse me,
I-
dear.
I wanted to make sure I had the chance to say something.
Why don't you take a moment to catch your breath, little
What's
one?
she doing here?
I'd like to... I need to say something.
We're kind of in the middle of something.
Bluebeard.
She has something to say, and we're gonna listen. Go
Yeah.
right ahead.
You probably don't remember me. I don't know why I was afraid to come
My
here.
dear, I don't
Just
know what
shut up. You enslaved us for years. Let us hear stories about what you do. Told us we would lose everything if we stepped just one toe out of line. And we couldn't say a word about it because of these damn ribbons. But you know what? Now it's my turn to talk.
How are you?
I found Vivian's body. Did you kill her?
No.
Did he?
Sheriff, this is highly irregular.
Be quiet.
Vivian killed herself back at the Pudding and Pie.
I'm sorry, I don't think I know
Nerissa! My name is Nerissa.
It's okay, my dear. It's going to be just...
He ordered them dead. This fucker. Faith and Lily.
That's a lie.
I was in the goddamn room when he did it. Faith and Lily are dead because of you.
And this just confirms it.
He made Georgie do it. It was always him.
Yes.
Georgie would have never done anything without
Marry
his
me
say
now,
so.
Nerissa.
Ever.
You're going to take the word of a stupid...
At least 5 other girls will back me up on this. We all heard you say it.
Did you now?
Yes.
Looks like we found our evidence.
She saw it firsthand.
He's guilty.
Good enough for me.
Me too.
So that's it, right?
Calm down the witching well.
No, that's too fucking easy for a crook like that.
What do you mean?
He's gotta pay for what he did.
Whoa, Grant,
Listen
whoa.
to yourselves!
You're all rats, fleeing from one sinking ship to the next. So quick to latch onto whatever will keep your miserable lives afloat. This is how you want to repay all I've done for you.
What, you take 2 people's lives away and now you want mercy?
I could always rip your arms off first. Would you enjoy that?
Well done, then.
Now, for your sentence.
We don't have to become murderers.
What are you talking about?
He's guilty. I know that, but we don't have to kill anybody. We can imprison him.
No.
Lock him up forever. Somewhere he can never hurt anyone again.
Yeah.
How
And then
can
he
we
can
be sure he
escape.
won't escape?
I can help. We'll use magic.
That's
I
not
assure
good
you.
enough.
Maybe
There will
she
be
has
more
a point.
if he
There
isn't
hasn't
stopped.
been enough bloodshed
So we
already.
get rid
It's
of
too
him.
dangerous.
Get him out of
We
here.
can send him
Everyone,
away.
listen up! Clearly, we're having trouble agreeing on a suitable punishment. So I think
This is going nowhere.
someone needs to make a decision.
Look, Snow should decide what we do with him. She's gonna be the deputy mayor,
But
so...
she's not the deputy mayor yet.
What about Bigby?
What about him?
Oh,
He was
he don't-
appointed. He's the only official representative, really. He should be the judge.
Oh shit.
That makes sense to me.
I guess it does.
Okay.
Fine.
Are you sure? This isn't how
It's what the people want, Miss White.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Mr.
go down the
Wolf,
witching well.
It's your call.
Snow,
Just do what you think is right.
Witching well.
Yes, Sheriff. Do what you think is right.
Teach him a fucking lesson.
He has to
We can
die.
lock him
Just
away.
fucking get rid of him.